Good morning. What is this? Friday? Man, I can't believe it's almost Christmas already. This year's almost over. And I'm in the Central Valley in California. It's been like this. Look, cloudy and wet and cold it's been. It's been like 40 degrees for the last like 3 weeks. We had this cloud over the, Central Valley for almost the entire month, bro. It's like freezing out here. But man, like I barely saw the sun for the first time in 3 weeks when I was out in the Bay Area. I was like, damn, dude, this weather's pretty cold, man. But anyway, so what this video is about. So this is a trip, right? This is like something I always thought about. It's like this. You could give an 18-year-old kid, right, a fucking $200,000 loan to go to college, bro, to get a worthless degree, right? But yeah, you could give a kid a $200,000 loan to go to college, bro, to get a worthless degree, right? But they won't give that same kid, that same 18-year-old kid, a loan to buy a house, bro. And we all need houses to live in, right? Don't you ever think about that? Like how rigged the system is? I remember when I was in high school, like these schools, they just try to pimp you off to the college because they get their little kickbacks, if they get you signed up for college. They'll have us in the auditorium like once a year, and they'll do their little like college spiel, being like, yeah, you're gonna be a fucking loser if you don't go to college, right? You're not gonna make no money and blah 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 blah. They said like the average, you're gonna earn an average of $1 million more. I remember them saying that, bro, like an average of $1 million more if you go to college and get a degree, right? But they were always very vague too, on top of that, about, well, what degree, right? The only way I could see you making like a shitload of money from a degree is if you were going to be an engineer or like a doctor or something, or like some kind of banker, right? Other than that, like, what are you going to do with a history degree, bro? What are you going to do with a liberal arts degree? Be a liberal artist? What the fuck, dude? Like, do you ever think about those kind of things? But yeah, I always, I had a teacher actually tell me this too. His name was Mr. Vizzolini, right? The math teacher. A couple of teachers actually, but I'll go with Mr. Vizzolini first. So it was like my senior year of high school, like I had him because I flunked out like my junior year in one of my math classes because I just ditch school and just, be a fuck up, right? But he would always say that. He's like, man, these schools don't care about you. They're trying to pimp you off to the colleges so they could get paid off of you. Right. And it was his last year teaching, so he just, let it all out. He's just like, man, it's all a scam. Right. As well as my shop teacher, I had ag mechanics teacher I had freshman year, Mr. Grider. He said, look, man, like one time we were like acting up in class, and he would get mad, bro. He's a good dude, bald white guy, but he would get mad, bro, like if we were like acting up and wouldn't listen. And he thought he was gonna like beat us up or something, bro. He'd get hecka mad. But anyway, he told us, he's like, man, I'm trying to give you guys some skills so you can make some real money in this world, man, because that's what matters. You have to pay rent, you have to pay bills, and this school, all they want to do is say the same thing. They just want to pimp you out to the colleges, bro, to get some useless degree, man. He's like, I'm trying to show you how to make money. He used to always say that to us, man. And it's funny because I'm in the trades. I'm in construction. I'm a foreman now. Which is insane. I never thought I'd be doing anything like that, but I want to, picking up some real world skills, pay the bills. And it's just like, he told us that too. He's like, man, these schools, they just want to pimp you out to the colleges, right? So they could get their little kickbacks, man. And he would just basically trying to give us some real skills, like welding, like, cause it was an ag mechanics class. So I had to deal with stuff like that, things that would get you in the trades. But we mainly were doing like a lot of welding and things like that in that class, and learning about how tools work. And I never forget that. But yeah, like I was saying, back to my other point, whereas they'll give a 18-year-old kid a loan to go to college and go into debt for a useless degree, but they won't give that same kid a loan to buy a house, bro. Like, I think that's what they should do in this country. Just my, philosophy that no one seems to give a shit about, but I'll keep talking anyway. But I think that would be way better if they gave a kid straight out of high school a loan to go buy a house, because we all need a place to live. And we look at the housing crisis now and how expensive houses are, bro. And most people are like paying an astronomical amounts for rent, and their mortgages are like $3,000 a month, bro, for a $500,000, house that's not even worth $100,000. But imagine if they did that instead. They gave you a loan to like, buy a house. But it's just like, it just shows how like crooked our system is, man. That they're like willing to just pimp you out for a few dollars, bro. And they never told us this. Here's another thing too, like kind of on the same point, like even in high school, they didn't teach us about finances. They didn't teach us about like loans and debt. They didn't teach us anything that we could really use in like the real world. Like school should have been, this is all school should have been. It should have been showing you how to pay taxes, showing you how to get a proper career that'll pay like a good amount of money. I think that's the way school should have been set up, just to show you how to survive in the real world, how to budget, things like that I never learned. I had to learn that the hard way as a grown adult, you know. But, you know, because a lot of us, like, I didn't learn how to budget at home, right? You know, my parents were terrible with money, so I had to learn the hard way, you know, as a grown-ass man. But it's just, like, I think the whole college thing is a total scam, man. It's a whole scam. It's just a whole scam. They never even told you, like I was saying, they didn't even told you what degree to get. They just say any degree. Then people get liberal arts degrees. They'll get like just these nonsense degrees that don't mean anything, and they can't even get a job after. Or they don't even tell you about like the jobs that probably won't even exist in the next 10 to 15 years. How horrible would that be to go through all this debt to get this college degree for a job that's not even going to exist in the next 5 years, you know? So it's just, man, like the whole system is a scam, bro. And they need to tell that to like young kids at high school instead of getting them into all this debt. Or at the very least, man, they should be preaching like, hey, what careers are actually viable and worth you spending that much money and that much time to actually get the degree, and tell you what career fields are actually viable. I think that would be a great idea. It would be a great class to have in a high school. College degrees that are worth a shit, right? Which I'm saying, like I was saying, it would be like, you know, being in some kind of engineer, structural engineer, something like that, something in finance, like banking or something of that nature, right? I think a degree like that would be worth something. To be a doctor or to be like a lawyer, something like that. The degrees they would actually be worth something and worth their time spent there. I don't even say teaching anymore, because I know they underpay these teachers like real bad, bro, which sucks, because, you know, we need good teachers. But I mean, I wouldn't even say teaching anymore, man, because like these poor teachers are completely underpaid, man. You know, they're making like 40, 50 grand a year, dude, and like $100,000 in student loan debt. And a studio apartment costs $1,800 a month in a small, modest city, right? A small, modest town. So it's just like, man, we need restructure of the whole system, man, and just the way we think about like college and, you know, how we're training our youth, man, to survive in this world. But yeah, that's about all I wanted to say, you know, all the way here from cold, gloomy Central California. But hey, hope you all enjoy your day and enjoy your weekend, and stay safe out there. Peace.